Ely, and it is that time of day when it's time for our thought to ponder as we wander with Amanda.
Yes. So this week I was reading in Romans chapter 8, which is one of my favorite chapters in the New Testament. There's a lot packed in there if you have time to read it. There are like 3 different things I want to talk about, but we're going to start with verses 1 and 2. It says, "So now there's no condemnation for those who belong in Christ Jesus. And because you belong to him, the power of the life-giving Spirit has freed you from the power of sin that leads to death." So I always try to look at myself through Christ and to find my identity in Christ. And this is one of the key things that I think it's important for everybody to remember, is that through Christ we are free from the power of sin. And so all of the guilt and the shame and all of that comes with our sin, once we have asked for forgiveness and once we're, followers of Christ, he's forgiven us and that's gone and he doesn't see that anymore. And if we could live as if that were a truth in our lives, then that would totally change the way that we follow Christ. Versus sometimes in our heart we still live with that heaviness and the death that comes from the power of sin. But Christ has freed us from that. And I think that's something that your faith grows in the more that you know the Lord. But it's an important truth to remember.
Yeah. It almost sounds too good to be true.
Yeah. But it is.
In fact, people today say there's no such thing as a free lunch. How can that be that
yeah,
easy?
Well, it's not really easy, so that's where it's...
Yeah, you have to work for it.
It's a faith thing, and even though it is easy and it is free, us believing it and having faith in that is where the hard part comes, and we have to transform our minds to think that way.
Yeah, because that's not a natural thought process.
No, it's not.
At least not for me. Well, how can I find your blog?
Oh, hebringsjoy.com.
And you got something new this week.
We do. I started uploading our Thought to Ponders on YouTube, and it's hashtag Thought to Ponder.
And you know what? Everybody will be happy to know you can't see me on the YouTube video.
Yeah, well, they can still hear you, though. So.
That's fine. I got into radio for a reason.
Okay, so we'll keep the cameras off you then.
We've got Brian Free and Assurance